Sports Betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm YouTubes. Thanks for everyone for jumping in here on a Wednesday afternoon. I got Howard Bender with me back here on the show. What's up, Howard?
What's going on, Servo? It's Wednesday. We get to look at some lines for the NFL. A couple of spreads, couple of fun stuff like that, or maybe something else.
Well, yeah. Listen, I was getting ready to talk some NFL. Of course, we got to give out some baseball picks for the people for Wednesday night. And then, we get some breaking news coming down the line, a Woj bomb, a Shams bomb, whatever. Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck for the season. And I thought instantly we got to get one of our NBA guys in here to give us his takes on this because I'm sure he's got plenty. So let's bring in James Grande. Yeah, here you can see the trade details. But, let's bring in James Grande because he is one of our NBA guys at Fantasy Alarm. I know he's been tracking, yesterday it looked like he might go to the Raptors, but that is moot now. So he is a Milwaukee Buck. Damian Lillard is. What's up, James? What is this has been a crazy day in the NBA world, huh?
Yeah, what's going on? I do want to give Woj the credit there, Servo.
He was the
Shams,
first. Okay.
Oh, Shams, but could not have butchered it worse. No shot at Shams, but he couldn't have butchered it worse.
He's probably sitting on the beach somewhere. He wasn't ready for it.
No. Shams has been very vocal. He just sits on his phone. That guy is not. I don't think that he has 8 phones. All he does. But happy to be here. Yeah, I mean, crazy day in the NBA. All along, I think Miami Heat were pretty arrogant in thinking that they were going to get Dame Lillard. I think everyone thought the Miami Heat was going to be the team that Damian Lillard landed on, and that's just not the case. And I think first and foremost, you give a lot of credit to Milwaukee. They heard their superstar go out and say, yeah, I'm going to evaluate this team in a couple of years, and if I don't like where we're at, I'm going to test free agency. And Milwaukee said, well, we can't lose one of the best players of, the decade, the generation, maybe ever. So let's address that immediately. And what better to bring in a guy who's, scored 32 points per game last year, has averaged 28 or more in 3 of the last 4 years, is one of the best shot makers in the league. And they did lose Jrue Holiday, who is regarded as one of the best perimeter defenders in basketball. But when you have the chance to go acquire Damian Lillard in your window now, because that's what Giannis told you, their window is now, you do it. And so kudos to the Bucks. Miami is a big loser here because they didn't get the big fish that they wanted. That was clear cut. They didn't change their offer. They didn't think other teams had offers that can compete with them. And were they wrong? Yes, they were. The piece that is I think really going to determine how good this trade is for Portland is when Jrue Holiday is inevitably moved, because he was traded in this to Portland, not to play on Portland. He was just a piece that needed to come off because of the contract, because of the position him and Lillard both share. But he's not going to play in Portland. He is going to be traded maybe to Miami, which I think would be hilarious if Miami turns around and offers the same thing for Jrue Holiday that they did for Lillard. That could very well be the case. But, all in all, Milwaukee, a big winner. Phoenix, I think, is a winner here because they needed depth, and they got depth in the deal back. They were the third team involved in this deal. They did lose DeAndre Ayton, but they couldn't wait to get rid of DeAndre Ayton. That's been the talk for a year and a half. But getting Grayson Allen, getting Nasir Little, big bench pieces for them. I think this is a win-win-win. Ultimately, we'll see what happens with the Holiday deal for Portland, but I think no losers in this, except Miami, who wasn't even involved in the trade.
Well, and the DeAndre Ayton being included in this trade, because I don't think, maybe behind the scenes he would have been in a potential Miami Heat deal, but the fact that the Suns get involved here with the Bucks, another contender, they bring in Bradley Beal this offseason. Now they have the replacement of Nurkic replacing DeAndre Ayton there. But yeah, I mean, the Trailblazers get kind of like a refreshed Ayton who's probably out to prove something here. Holiday, we'll see where he lands, but instantly the Bucks, I mean, you look at their odds for this season. I've been tracking it for the last couple hours here too, because, more, not surprisingly, more and more money is coming on them. It was at plus 425. It was at plus 400 to win the championship. Now I'm looking at DraftKings. It's at plus 390. So more people are now backing Milwaukee now that they have, him, Giannis, and Chris Middleton as like their true big three. I mean, you think they are the rightful favorites over the Denver Nuggets now to win the title?
Yes, absolutely. Because when you look at the landscape of the rest of the NBA, like Denver didn't really get better this offseason. They lost Bruce Brown, who was a key member of their playoff rotation and their rotation all year. They had a lot of fortunate breaks. Like the Lakers, I think, did get better. Sorry to say that out loud to you, Howard. I know Jim. I know. I have to address that.
Listen, I'm numb to it. I'm good, right? I mean, this is like
I'm just preparing you. I'm preparing you for what's to come this year. More so with Jim on the
as long as the Cowboys keep losing right now. Howard's fine.
Cloud nine for sure. I do think Denver is the inferior team to Milwaukee. I do think this vaults them ahead of Boston in the East, because I think Boston has question marks with the Kristaps Porzingis signing. He's already injured. He's been oft injured the last few years, really since he's come into the league. They lost Marcus Smart. Philly has question marks, as you know, Servo, being the resident Philly fan here. The East, truthfully, I'll say this, and I'm not being a prisoner of the moment, it's just the Bucks to lose, I think. More than it is anyone. I think the Bucks are clearly the team. I mean, plus 165, as you alluded to, in the East. Now the championship thing is more interesting, because we did just see Denver win the championship. We did just see Phoenix involve themselves in this trade to better their depth, which was the main issue. Their issue wasn't the fact that they had Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. It was everything else surrounding them. Now, I think Ayton is going from Ayton to Nurkic is kind of a downgrade, but the depth overall, I don't think Ayton was going to be that big of a factor on this team, just given there's only one basketball. Nurkic is a fine offensive player. He's a dud defensively, but again, the depth matters. I think Phoenix I like the Phoenix odds out west, and I like Denver, and then the Lakers and the Warriors obviously looming. But I think far and away the Bucks being the favorites to win the conference, to win the finals makes sense. I was just looking at something. To win 60 games, Milwaukee is plus 270. And I'm not saying they're going to gel right away, but you're just inserting a 30-point score. The team's not going to change all that much. Chris Middleton, I think, is not going to have much problem deferring to Giannis and Damian Lillard a little bit more than he did when Jrue Holiday was around. So plus 270 for the Bucks to win 60 games feels really good.
I like that too, because there's been games the past couple of years where Giannis has to sit out for a little minor injuries, and the Bucks obviously get a huge downgrade. But when you can just kind of let Dame Lillard take over as the main, facilitator and scorer, then that is a huge boost. I'm with you. They should. I mean, they were the rightful favorites in the East. The Sixers, who knows what's going to happen with James Harden, if he's going to be on the team. They're saying he's going to not show up and all that. So I doubt that. That was a team I thought might be involved in a Dame trade wherever he lands. If the Sixers got involved to kind of send Harden out, bring in some other pieces, kind of like Phoenix, bring in some depth. I'm with you on the Suns being a winner here. I mean, it's huge for them to just kind of be involved here and get some key pieces to really improve their depth. So, crazy trade. I mean, I didn't think this would be coming. I mean, we got the NBA season starting up in a couple weeks here, but I thought this might go into, yesterday on the show, me and John and Pemba on this show were saying we might see Damian Lillard sit out sometime, and if the trade doesn't get done before the season starts. So here we get it, September 27th.
I think it's interesting, this whole trade, and it just speaks to like Dame being a good person and not able to like really stick it to Portland. Like he wanted to be the guy who's loved, right, in Portland, and but he didn't want to be there, but he didn't want to like step on toes. And with the way the NBA has worked, it's like the players have dictated where they've gone. I mean, you see it firsthand as James Harden. This is like the fourth time James Harden has requested a trade, and the other three times he's gotten what he's wanted. And Damian Lillard's the only person who seemingly hasn't gotten what he wanted, because he wanted to go to Miami, but he's too nice of a guy to be like, no, I'm going to sit out. Like he probably would have just played. He probably would have just been unhappy with it and whatnot. But this is like the first time where, player empowerment in the NBA like didn't work because someone's too nice.
I mean, in a way, he probably would have obviously preferred to be on a contender. Now he's instantly on that. It's not like they sent him to I'm trying to think of a team that's
Toronto.
Toronto. Well, Toronto would not have been ideal for him.
Yeah, I mean that would have. I mean, I think they would have been good because you insert 30-point scorer like to a decent framed team, that would have been better. But like they wouldn't be better than the Celtics, I don't think, in the East, or even maybe Philly if James Harden's still there. So this was a great move for Milwaukee, even though Jrue Holiday is one of the better, is obviously an upgrade defensively, but Lillard is a clear upgrade there.
Yeah. Well, James, appreciate you jumping in here for a quick 10 minutes talking about this Dame Lillard trade. Again, here's the returns for each of those teams. Jrue Holiday, we'll see where he lands, but the Milwaukee Bucks get Damian Lillard in this huge trade on a September afternoon. Always good to bring you on, James. Appreciate it, man. We'll have you back on tomorrow's Bettor Sports Betting show. Talk some Thursday night football, right?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, the Giants aren't playing then, so I don't have to bet on that. Great news. Great.
Hey, man, if you two want to be alone, I could just bow out here right now. If you guys, just feeling a little love here, a little bond.
We got to talk some NFL Week 4, Howard. You trying to bail on me?
James doesn't know the NFL, even though he's wearing a baseball hat and an NBA shirt.
No NBA hat, NBA shirt. We're double dipping here.
Yeah, what's the hat? I can't say.
Bulls.
Oh, it's a Bulls.
We're going
hat.
Bulls. Yeah, Bulls.
There you go.
Yeah, Bulls. Also, Damian Lillard.
Bulls. That team's got no history. The Bulls.
They know. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they just came around, I think, recently. They had this former baseball player once, Howard. Jordan. He played for the White Sox organization. I don't know if you heard of him.
Didn't they have a really eccentric dude who was a sculptor, like Rodin? Wasn't he was he in there at that time too?
Rodin, yeah. He's friends with that. He's friends with that one country.
Is he having sex with a Kardashian? That's the question. I think that's pretty much what you have to ask your any NBA question right there.
Oh boy.
Right?
NBA drama
sex with the Kardashian, please tell us.
NBA drama, not unlike any other.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if you guys want to keep talking some hoops, I'll go back to doing some waivers here for some fantasy football. But if not, all right.
Steiner, thanks for having me, guys.
Howard's trying to bail out here. I love it.
No.
We'll keep this short, right?
You guys were you were vibing. You were doing your whole NBA thing, and everybody knows, despite the fact that this hoodie with the orange over here is like Knicks colors, I mean, see, like I figured you just put it all into you guys, into your hands. I'm man enough to say that if I don't have a strong suit, I go to somebody else who's smart. Like, could I learn to do some plumbing work in my house? Of course I could learn to do it. But am I? Or am I going to just trust in the fact that a plumber is the way to go? Like, that's
why I wanted to bring on Grande there, because
please, I appreciate it, man.
Besides the trade rumors and all that, I'm not totally glued into NBA either right now. So, but yeah, we'll be. I'm sure tomorrow on the show we could talk a little bit more trade fallout in there, and I know. The season's coming up in a couple of weeks, so we'll get someone else, probably, a Justin Fensterman or anybody else to talk some NBA for the upcoming season. We have Justin Hollis chiming in on YouTube. Bulls fan here. Been a tough few years. Yeah, they're, if they got Lillard, maybe it would have turned around, but
yeah, I you know what? I mean, this it doesn't have any betting aspect to it, but Justin's here in the chat and he's chiming in and you're here as well. I don't believe that if you've ever had a dynasty like the Bulls had, like the Lakers have had, like the Celtics have had, you can't complain about lean times. You have an historic dynasty. Michael Jordan will forever be a Chicago Bull. Doesn't matter what he does anywhere else. Doesn't matter. Like, that's historic. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to complain. 49ers fans, Dallas Cowboys fans. Like, if you've ever had like an historic Yankees fans should just shut the hell up. Don't whine and cry about not winning a championship. It's
Patriots fans right now.
What's that?
Patriots fans right now.
Yeah, it's been a real listen, if any Patriots fan says anything for at least 30 more years, I mean, I will fight them personally. No, I won't. I see what you guys do in the stands of your game, so I take that back.
Yeah, it's a rough crowd there.
Wholeheartedly take that back. But you can't. Don't talk to me about those lean years there, Justin. My goodness.
Well, maybe Justin's, a younger fan where he didn't get to totally experience the dynasty that was in the 90s.
I feel like it doesn't even matter. I feel like if you're born into being a Chicago Bulls fan, you automatically adopt its history.
Okay.
I don't credit. The Jets won a Super Bowl the year before I was born.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
All right. I don't hold on to that as like my historical greatness. No.
Well, you guys had the Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan years, huh?
Feet and butts, right? Butts and feet. Rex
and
Ryan and Mark Sanchez. There it is.
Speaking of butts
Joe
and feet,
Namath, butts and feet, and Zach Wilson, MILF Hunter.
All right, let's keep the football talk going, and we got to preview some Week 4 lines and then early leans that we want to give out to the people. We'll be making picks on Friday's show, but we got to look at a couple days early at some of these games. Justin Hollis also commenting, saying he's 50. Okay, love the dynasty. So he was alive during the dynasty. 17-year-old son that was not alive for that dynasty pulls for them as well. So he hasn't seen the great years yet. Hopefully they come back around.
I'll bet you Justin's got a picture of his son in like a Chicago Bulls onesie, right? That has 23 on the front, right? I think that's probably so. Again, born into it. Enjoy the history. Enjoy that.
Oh, this is Ice Through. Okay. We got Justin Ice Through, a fellow
I see through you, baby.
Subscriber there. What's up, man? All right, let's talk some Week 4 here. Some interesting lines and spreads. We'll go through these pretty quickly, but see if we have any leans on these games. Got to start with the London game, because we got a London game for the first time this year, 9:30 Eastern time in the morning on Sunday. The Jaguars are 3-point favorites here against the Falcons. 43 is the over-under there. Had to bring this one up, obviously, because of the London aspect, but also because the Falcons let us both down last week. We took them +3 against the spread there. Here they are, 3-point underdogs again. I don't know. What's your vibe with the Falcons here going into London on the road, technically, against the Jaguars?
This is a tough one. I don't really have a lean on this. I might go with just the under 43. I mean, that might be where I'm at, just because, again, teams traveling, and I get it. The Jaguars is like a home game for them. They've played in more London games than anybody else.
Yeah.
The tricky part about it here is you're like, all right, the Falcons looked like they were stuck in the mud, and they couldn't do anything this past week against Detroit, which was considered a softer defense.
Yeah.
And so you're like, all right, well, so that wasn't really representative of what they are. So do I want the points again? But then you look at the Jaguars, and they're coming off of this loss to Houston, right? And they look terrible these last 2 weeks. So of course that's Vegas being like, yeah, take the Falcons plus the points, because these Jaguars, they've looked like, cockapoo for the last 2 weeks. And so then all of a sudden it gets a little like, a little convoluted, only because you're also dealing with an unproven team like the Falcons. So I think the Falcons run heavy as always, and that slows down the pace of the game. I'm willing to bet that the under probably hits a little bit more often with the Falcons this year, and we'll track that as the season goes on.
Yeah.
But that's probably my only lean on this game as far as like who with the point spread. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I had an initial lean. By the way, the under is 2-1 in Falcons games so far this year. So, we'll definitely track that. And the over was 40.5. It was the line there. So, it went over, but it was still 49 points scored in that one. I had an initial lean on the Jaguars just being, in London. They're used to this travel. They're used to the whole environment. But looking back at the Jaguars' recent history in these London games, they've lost 3 of their last 4 London games. They lost last year against the Broncos in London, and we all know the Broncos were not up to par last year. So, it's a little worrisome, I guess, back in the Jaguars with that recent history. You'd think, obviously, first glance, like, all right, that they're playing a home game in front of this London Jaguars crowd, but it hasn't gone exactly up to speed for them the last handful of years here. So maybe I'll dive into that more. I do think the under might be the way to go there, because last year's game was only it was a low scoring game. So was the last 4 London games for the Jaguars, all lower scoring games. So that might be the way to go. The other game we want to touch on here next. Let's go to one of the big divisional matchups this weekend. We got the Ravens on the road at Cleveland. 2.5 is the spread. The Browns are favored there. 41, the over-under. The Ravens obviously coming off kind of a disappointing outright loss to the Colts at home. The Browns, though, they've been rolling here. Their defense has been like the talk, one of the talks of the league, being Jim Schwartz and this defense looking legit this season. Favored at home here, 2.5 the spread. Any leans on this one?
The
under might be the way to go on this one too.
The under might be the way to go on that one too. Listen, I think that we're probably going to see a lot of unders in that. This is a really tight one. Where you see it, I see it on DK Sportsbook right now. I see it as a 3-point game, and I'm sure that this is a tough spot. And I'll tell you what, I'm inclined to actually take the Ravens, because we're obviously all in on Cleveland's defense. But, if you're telling me that this is a field goal game, and that's what Vegas is telling you, then I want to be on the side of Justin Tucker. And if that means I'm getting points, then I'm doing it that way there. And I'll take the points. And I would just buy the half point if I could, to make it 3.5. That's the way I would bet this game.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me too, but Lamar Jackson as an underdog, John Harbaugh for that matter too, but Lamar Jackson's like against the spread record as an underdog is very good over the last few years. As a favorite, he's not as he's actually negative against the spread, but as an underdog, he has a lot better record when you're talking spreads. So I'd be more inclined to go with the Ravens too. And also, lower scoring game, taking the dog in a lower scoring game is always, I feel like the way to go. And the total is actually, I'm looking now at DraftKings 40.5. So it is going down a little bit from that 41. All right. Now the other huge game, another divisional matchup in the AFC is the Dolphins at the Bills. We just saw the Dolphins put up that 70 burger on the Broncos. They are underdogs here on the road to the Bills. -3 is the spread. 53.5 is the over-under, the highest total on the Week 4 board this week. I don't know. Where are you going with the Dolphins as underdogs now after that huge offensive performance last week?
Right. Doesn't that make like your radar just immediately perk up, where you're like, what? They scored 70 points last week, and now I'm going to get 3 points against the Bills? I'm taking the Bills. I'm laying the points.
I mean, people probably don't even realize like the Bills have been winning easy these last couple games. So
dude, Washington gave away so much of that game. It was terrible. I mean, it was just, such an inept offense there too. I mean, just and all the turnovers. So, but yeah, I think, when you look at this game, that's the suspicion right there. Everything that you saw about Miami, how in the world could they possibly be an underdog here? Which, then Vegas is telling you basically. They're not telling you. You have to tell yourself that they're trying to fish hook you in here and take the Bills and a strong defense there. I love, what Mike McDaniel's doing down there, but not for betting purposes right now.
Yeah, I think there's a reason the Bills are favored here, and it's always like one of those kind of general principles you have with betting when like a huge team like this, or in college football, it's always like, if there's a top 25 team on the road and they're underdogs for a reason, especially if they're facing an unranked team that's, home as favorites against a ranked team in college football. But this is similar. Obviously, the Bills, though, are they're still like, I think, the betting favorites to win the AFC, even over the Dolphins right now. But I'd go Bills here too. I'm with you on there. All right, the Bengals at the Titans. 2.5 is the spread here. The Cincinnati Bengals are favored on the road, or 3 wherever you're looking. And 41.5 is the over/under here. Obviously, the Bengals coming off that Monday night win where Joe Burrow did play. We didn't know if he would actually play, but he did play. Didn't look totally, the offense wasn't all that impressive. They did get the win, but they kind of got it done in uglier fashion. But here they are favored on the road against the Titans. My instant lean is Mike Vrabel as an underdog has been a profitable way to go. And as a home underdog here, I think that's the way I might go. I feel like the Bengals are maybe getting a little too much love in the market just because, Burrow's back and they got the win, but this is still a team that almost started the season 0-3. So,
yeah, I don't really. I think I might like Tennessee more if I was getting like maybe another half point, or maybe if it was a 3. I didn't. Obviously the Bengals, what they did on Monday Night Football, you have to protect your quarterback and you have to protect the calf. And you worry about whether or not he's going to re-injure it. But like the quick release and, just hitting Jamar Chase every chance he got. That was it. It was like, hike the ball and like within like, I think it was like 1.2 seconds or something like that was the average release time for him. I'm making that up.
He got hit early. He got like sacked early in that game. I thought he might.
Right. Everybody was like freaking out about it. So, I kind of feel like a lot of people are going to, kind of jump onto that there with Tennessee, with Mike Vrabel as an underdog and worry about Joe Burrow and whatnot. But let's face facts. Tennessee's secondary is bad. It's bad. They stuffed the run. So I'm not bullish on Joe Mixon this week. I've looked at, I think Joe Mixon's rushing yard prop is like 51.5 or something like that. And I'm still thinking about possibly the under, just knowing that Tennessee, and what their situation is. But I just think that this is, it's a secondary that can't keep up. And if Joe Burrow knows that they're fixated on Jamar Chase, then he's just going to make T. Higgins his first read, or then he's going to make Tyler Boyd his first read. And that's, so to me, I'll lean Bengals here. I don't love it, but I'll lean that way. Yeah.
The Titans are now going to be underdogs for the 4th straight game to open the season. They covered as dogs in the first 2 games, did not cover last week against Cleveland. Big loss in that one. But I think, Mike Vrabel as a dog is kind of the trend that I've been looking at the past couple of years, and it's been cashing twice already this season. So that's kind of my vibe.
Let's see on Friday when you and I are making our picks, buddy. Let's see it. Side action. Ooh.
Side, maybe. All right. How about this next game? The Buccaneers coming off of their Monday night loss against the Eagles on the road here against the Saints, who are getting Alvin Kamara back for the Saints there. 3.5 point favorites are the Saints here. 40.5 is the over-under. Another divisional matchup here in week 4. Where are you going with this one? Any leans?
I don't. Yeah, I don't like this one. I don't like a lot of stuff that's going on this week. I might just kind of hit these over-unders and lay off on some of these spreads because I mean the lines are like super close.
Yeah, they're all tight.
3 or a 2 or 1. So I mean, just kind of breaking this down, I think I would probably, I think I would actually kind of favor the Saints in this one. Marshawn Lattimore is going to get into a fight with Mike Evans. 2 of them are going to get thrown out of this game. So that takes a major weapon off the table for Jameis Winston, for Baker Mayfield to go and he's got to pivot. He'll have to pivot to Chris Godwin. And does he have that rapport with Godwin? Is he ready for that? We didn't see a lot of work from Godwin this past week. You remember I was on his receiving yards prop at 63.5. Clearly, Baker's number one target is Mike Evans, his number one guy. The guy his first read, where he's looking for him, it's Mike Evans. So,
dude, real quick on Mike Evans, this guy he might have the worst hands of any good receiver, quote unquote good receiver. I mean, if he wasn't tall and could catch a jump ball, and can beat a defense deep occasionally, how good is he? The guy, how many passes did he drop in that Eagles game? I know it was rain, whatever, but everyone else was catching passes. I know he caught that one-handed catch behind his back, but the guy, every game, I think he drops a pass. I don't know what. I feel like it's been a theme if you're in the fantasy world that this guy's catch rate compared to his targets is one of the worst. But anyway, that's my rant on Mike Evans.
You don't like him? I listen. I'm not a huge Mike Evans guy either.
If I was a Bucks fan, I'd be livid at him. The guy, he missed I think it was at least 2. He missed a touchdown. He dropped a touchdown. He dropped at least 1 first down. Yeah.
So you're gonna talk about receivers dropping touchdowns, AJ Brown? Do you want to talk about that one? Oh,
listen. I gave out his prop on Monday. He cashed that. He had a huge game. So I don't care if he drops the touchdown. As long as my Eagles win, I'm good with it.
It's the return of Alvin Kamara. It is Jameis Winston in a revenge game narrative.
Yeah.
It is Michael Thomas, who is a big fan of Jameis Winston. It's Chris Olave, who's just yummy delish anyway. It's a Saints defense that's improving, but again, like I said, Lattimore takes out, Evans. I'm going to lean the Saints minus the 3 points, but I probably won't bet this game. I do kind of think the over might be the way to go in this one at 40.5. I'm 40.5.
That is pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're thinking it's Baker versus Jameis Winston, so maybe people are
16-10.
Listen, the Saints, I'm looking right now. They're all 3 of their games so far have gone under the total. And the Bucks, the Bucks, 2 of their 3 have gone under. So, all right. Let's go to a game that you want to throw out there: the Raiders and the Chargers. Chargers 5-point favorites here at home. Another divisional matchup here. The total's at 48 in this one. What is your lean for this game?
I think the Chargers defense is terrible. Terrible. And so listen, I know the Raiders defense isn't much better, but you're telling me that the Chargers are going to be able to stop somebody? I'm seeing it at 5.5 right now on DK, and I'm betting it right now. I'm taking the Raiders plus the 5.5 points. I don't want this line to move anymore. I do not trust the Los Angeles Chargers when they're a home favorite. Usually it's got to be 6.5. And then I'm there's no way. There's no way they cover a touchdown. But even here, 5.5 against a divisional opponent who everybody thinks is garbage right now. And we don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play because of concussion protocol. I'm still taking the Raiders. Chargers, favorite at home. Ugh, gross.
Well, yeah, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, but then we also have the Devontae Adams making some noise that he's upset that the Raiders aren't going in the right direction, don't have like that winning vibe in the locker room, I guess. Now people are throwing him in trades and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Garoppolo, if he's out.
I turn to you, Servo, and I say squeaky wheel gets the grease because AJ Brown was like
Adams props here.
AJ Brown was like, nobody's throwing me a football. He's always looking for Devonta Smith. And so Jalen Hurts' only read throughout the entire night was to AJ Brown. Devonta Smith was like sitting there in the middle of the field in a lounge chair with like a pina colada in his hand, and nobody was near him. And he was like, hey, throw me the ball. And there's Jalen Hurts like, where's that squeaky wheel? Let me get him some grease. There he is, A.J. Brown. That's what's going to happen with Devontae Adams. He's going to light up this secondary. Light him up.
Even with potentially Brian Hoyer under center?
Especially with Brian Hoyer under center. At least that dude can throw it deep.
All right, last game we'll preview here. Got to get your Jets involved here because it's a big spread on Sunday night. Listen, I'm on the Jets here. My lean is the Jets because 9.5 is the spread here for the Chiefs. 42.5 is the over/under. I've given out this stat. I think maybe it was week 1 when they played the Lions, but Mahomes and the Chiefs, but under Mahomes. When he's like favored by more than a touchdown, his against the spread record is not good. I'll have the exact numbers later in the week, but his against the spread record is not what as good as you'd think. Really good as like an underdog or like a short favorite, field goal or less. But as a bigger underdog, the Chiefs, kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. I don't know. I think I'm on the Jets here, just kind of keeping it close. I don't know if Taylor Swift's going to be in the building up in at the Meadowlands or not, but we'll see.
You're all in on the Mecole Hardman revenge game narrative, aren't you?
Oh, that dude hasn't gotten on the field.
But he's going to play this week.
Oh, he is. Okay.
He's going to play this week, right? You know what? I mean, here, sidebar, Your Honor. Quick DFS lineup that I'm putting together right now. It's Jameis Winston, Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Calvin Ridley, Adam Thielen, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Kroft, Mecole Hardman. I didn't
realize there was that many revenge games.
One running back to my alternate. I'm trying not to use Jake Funk from the Colts this week, but that's my backup plan right there. That is my all revenge game narrative lineup. Book it, baby.
Okay. I'm looking through the games to see Calvin Ridley won't be he's on the London game.
Yeah, so, just play the Thursday through Monday slate. You're good. You cover it all, baby.
I'm with you on Thielen. I think he's now it's clear he's the top guy in that passing tree.
Right? He's of course going to catch for 144 yards and a touchdown again. It's against Minnesota, his former team.
So what, you think the Jets can keep this close or no?
I don't really have much faith in it. I mean, I get what the numbers say when Mahomes is a big favorite. I don't know if that's more. I'd like to see if that's more him at home, because I know at home when the Chiefs are big favorites, they never cover.
Yeah,
like that's I know that at home. I haven't looked at the numbers for him on the road for that yet. It's obviously because it's the Jets. I don't want to bet the game because I don't want to bet for or against the Jets. I want to actually try and enjoy watching the game. My lean here, though, if I had to do it, would probably be the Jets, just because it's it's a rock solid defense. It is a top flight defense with a strong pass rush. And I think that the Chiefs could have some difficulties with that. Unfortunately, though, the Jets aren't going to score any points.
Oh, well, it could be a a 9-0 game and we get the cover, huh?
I mean, I know, but I think that this is a game where you get like that backdoor cover, right? Like the Chiefs are up like, I don't know, like 20-6 at some point, or 20-6, and then boom, the Jets all of a sudden come in with a touchdown.
Yeah, well, the Jets, who did they sign again this week? The quarterback.
I know Trevor Siemian came in for a visit.
Siemian, yeah, they didn't sign him though.
Yeah, that's game changer right there. Game changer.
Well, listen, who knows?
I know. I know.
He could be the guy that comes in for a late touchdown.
I'll tell you what. You all can tune in tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, Getting Buzzed. I will explain all about the Jets, Nathaniel Hackett, and a couple of other offensive coordinators. Offensive, not offensive coordinators. Offensive coordinators. Guys who just don't belong there. Getting Buzzed tomorrow, 1 p.m. right here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page.
There you go.
There's a reason that Jets stands for just end the season.
Oh, dang. This is the week 4 vibes without Aaron Rodgers are just a real bummer right now. I'm sorry. I feel for the Jets
week 2 vibes were a bummer.
No, I know, but the fact that we're week 4, the Jets are, you're already saying just end the season. It's tough. All right, let's.
You know what the problem is? Because everybody keeps saying that the Jets need another quarterback, and that's not the problem. Their
defense is fine.
Their defense is great.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Absolutely, they have a great wide receiver core.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
Mecole Hardman.
They just need a serviceable quarterback, and what they need is an offensive coordinator.
You know what they can get after this season? If the season starts, becoming a lot more losses than wins, is they can get Caleb Williams coming to New York.
That's what we need to do. We need to try and develop another quarterback.
Well, he's already developed so far.
We've been so good.
He's not a Zach Wilson where he's coming from BYU. He's lighting it up right now.
Yeah. Adam Bernard's like, save it for the air tomorrow. He's baiting me, Adam. He's baiting me into this whole thing. I will save it for the air tomorrow. Don't just stop yelling at me. You're not my real father.
All right, let's wrap up today's show with a couple quick hitter baseball picks to give you guys for Wednesday night. Me and Howard aren't totally glued in on baseball betting wise right now, but we do have some meaningful matchups tonight. I'll kick things off here. Give me the Pirates on the money line. The Phillies just clinched a playoff berth last night. They got hammered overnight. You look at the Phillies lineup. They're rolling out a C-level lineup for today. I'm expecting the Pirates just to be like, all right, let's get this dub. The Phillies are still hungover. It's almost 5 Eastern. They're still hungover. So give me the Pirates on the money line.
Pirates on the money line. All right, I'm going to the American League West. It's obviously a big matchup here against the Mariners against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, huge wild card implications.
Very, very serious. There it is, right there on the trail to Astros by half a game in the AL wild card race. So big game here for both teams. Framber Valdez on the bump for Houston. Bryce Miller on the bump for Seattle. This it was a 7.5 over under, and then it got pushed up to 8 right now on the run line. So on for the runs total. So I'm taking the over. I'm going to continue. I think that trend continues. I think both offenses pull out all the stops here. It's a big game for both pitchers. I get that, but I think that offenses prevail in this wild card matchup.
All right, I'll go to the NL wild card race and give me the Padres on the money line tonight. The Giants are officially eliminated from the playoff contention. That's who the Padres are facing here. Padres beat them 4-0 to officially eliminate them. Padres still alive. They don't have a great shot at making the postseason, but they are still technically alive. And as long as they are, I think they're going to still play hard. The offense is really good against lefties, and they got Sean Manaea on the mound for the Giants. I just think this is another win for the Padres, who've really been reeling off wins. I think they've only lost 2 games like in the last 2 weeks overall. So give me the Padres to at least, as long as they're still alive, I've been riding them to just kind of keep on winning here until they get eliminated.
I love this battle in the National League, man. The Cubs, the Marlins, and the Reds, 3 teams that nobody even remotely had picked for wild card teams. Nobody did, you know? So, I mean, kudos to all 3 teams for everything that they've done. Phillies, the Diamondbacks are there. I mean, nobody had the Diamondbacks here as well. Like,
the Diamondbacks won today in their afternoon game, so they now have a leg up. The Padres, pressure on them to get the win here.
With the exception of Houston, I think that, you know, there you can make an argument against every single one of these teams why we didn't think they would be here at the end of the season, and I think I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
I'm all for it. You got the Orioles as good as they are. I mean, it's been awesome to see that. The Mariners, you know, when we talked playoff odds and futures, maybe a month or 2 ago, looking down the pike, the Mariners were not really on my radar, but they have really come on strong. And now, that matchup against Houston tonight is huge. The Mariners won last night against the Astros, so they are right in the middle of it. The Marlins right now, by the way, are losing to the Mets 2-0 in the 3rd inning, the first game of doubleheader after yesterday got rained out. So, yeah, definitely huge matchups tonight all over baseball. So, so there's a couple
I'm pulling for the Marlins, baby. Pull for the Marlins.
Listen, I hate the Mets. I'm all for the Marlins.
I mean, in general, too. In general. I was talking to our friend Craig Mish the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And, and he's, he covers the Marlins for the Miami Herald. So I want him to at least enjoy have a season with the playoffs.
Well, yeah, the last few years of them just kind of selling away all their top players, it is good to see them be good this season. So, yeah, good for the fighting Craig Mishes over in
good for the fighting Mishes.
All right, so that's it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow to give some Thursday night football picks and maybe a baseball bet or two, and then me and Howard on Friday will be giving out some Week 4, our sure picks for Week 4. So come back for those shows.
Or unsure picks.
Or unsure, but we give out some leans today, but we'll be locking in some picks on Friday's show. All right, coming up after us, we have the MLB DFS Quick Pitch live show coming up with John Mpemba and James Grande, as always, 5 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern, Sports Bettor Court with Dan Lust. 7 p.m. Eastern, Howard's back with the Lisa Ann Does Fantasy Better show with Lisa Ann. And then 9 p.m. Eastern, Dynasty Nerds with Garrett Price. So keep it locked here on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm YouTubes all night long to get your baseball and your football and your betting picks in with us here on Bettor Sports Network. All right, thanks for everyone tuning in. Good luck with your own picks tonight and this weekend, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports Network.